Hello everyone, today we have the newly available Cassandra Nova, and she creates, in my opinion, a new tier 0 deck. She is going to be the litmus test, or in this kind of shell, the Athena, Kitty Pryde, Angela shell, even if it's not exactly like this, she is going to be the litmus test of what you have to be able to beat if you're creating any other deck. So she does fantastic against Arishem. Being able to drain an absurd 20 power, even on the last turn of the game, is crazy. And then against other decks, being able to use Korg, Rock Slide, a lot of times you're going to be able to have a 3-8 through 3-10, depending on when you drop her, and they're going to be negatively impacted in their future draws, which is just so much flexibility, so much value. She is going to be absolutely everywhere. She is every bit worth the grind that I put in to be able to unlock her. The rest of the deck looks to use the Angela, Athena, Kitty Pryde shell or engine to be able to be pushing power into two different lanes. You're going to get a lot of value. It helps protect you against junk decks, clutter decks, mill decks, because you can't get dock-ocked as easily. And the good thing about this deck is a lot of your power is not reliant on reveals, so if they get a 4-cost leech down on you, it's not anywhere near as effective as it was a couple of days ago. The rest of the deck is looking to have those mobile cards. You have your Jeff, your Nocturne. Those can be played into the Angela lane and then moved out later. Or if you get docked, it's that dock-ock protection, which is the reason that they are so valuable right now. We have Shang-Chi, so if the opponent floats something a little bit too high power, we have that as a way to counter an entire lane. Hope Summers gives us a lot of flexibility in being able to play our bigger cost cards and making sure that our Athena scales appropriately as well. And then we have Hawk. Hawk is, in this deck, going to be viable against any deck. Not only do you have the Korg and Rock Slide to add the disruption into the opponent's deck, but you are able to just dominate an Arishem as well, and so then you have two lanes that are auto wins, and they have to try to pick one to Shang-Chi while still developing the rest of their board, and you're just going to be putting good value plays out onto the board every single turn. Copycat is also in this build, and as soon as I started seeing a decline in Arishem, Copycat had value in spades. You have much more consistency in what you're drawing, and it gives you some actually useful information now, as opposed to drawing the opponent's Arishem before. And just a quick shout out, I am live right now on twitch.tv/TLSG If you enjoy live content, definitely jump over there, check me out. I would love to have you. Twitch drops are starting again today, and so I'm going to be doing a very long stream. And so if you want a place to hang out that has a very positive vibe to be able to collect your drops, definitely jump over there and spend some time with me today. But before we jump over into any games, I'd like to introduce today's video sponsor, Astra. Astra is an app that helps you discover new games and gives you rewards for playing them. Earning rewards for something that I'd already be doing in my downtime is never a bad thing. Astra has a wide range of games from different genres, so there's something for everybody. For completing tasks or just spending time in games, you'll earn Astra coins, which can be redeemed for real cash or gift cards to your favorite brands like PayPal, Google Play, Amazon, and more. Astra is all about making the game experience fun and rewarding. I recently started playing Going Balls. It's a platform that starts off pretty easy, but ends up getting pretty difficult pretty quick, which is something that I enjoy. Astra even has built-in social features so that you can share your progress and gaming experiences with your friends and even earn bonus rewards whenever they join the app. And now here's the best part. For downloading Astra through the link in the description below, or by scanning the QR code on the screen, you'll get a welcome gift of 200 coins and a special welcome coupon, which will double the rewards on your first task for the first 24 hours. Download Astra today, discover your next gaming obsession, and start getting rewarded for playing. All right, next up we have somebody that did not enjoy Deadpool's Diner. The first location is Lake Hellas, and we are running up against the rare Arishem deck, and I almost want to snap into it immediately. Because we have two avenues to be able to, we're going to do it. We have two avenues to be able to beat one lane or just win one lane, one in Cassandra, one in Hawk. And we have the Korg and Rock Slide both in hand to add a little bit of disruption. It doesn't impact Arishem anywhere near as much as other decks, because it's much, like, proportionally or statistically, they're much less likely to draw into each individual rock. And so they hit us with a cable, hopefully not drawing Cassandra Hawk, because that would hurt us a touch. There's the Cassandra Nova coming in huge for us here. Let's go Angela to the right lane. And then I think Rock Slide goes down on 3, the Nocturne. Beautiful. They have the means to turn off Mindscape. And with this deck, it doesn't necessarily matter so much if we immediately drop Cassandra, because she's going to be a massive unit regardless. And so we can do Rock Slide. That keeps Angela below Shang-Chi range for now. and it shuffles in the rocks. We could drop Cassandra into either mid or left. We want to do that before turn number 6, just in case they decide to not turn off the Mindscape location. And so they drop a Moon Girl, doubling up on whatever they have in hand. We're going to send them more rocks. That's going to make sure that they can't draw. That is a 22 power Cassandra if we choose to drop her this turn, which is wild. I almost don't want to drop Kitty Pryde here. I said almost, so we're going to do it anyways. We're going to go ahead and drop her into the right lane. We're going to let Angela scale as much as she wants to. And that's going to give us a little bit of extra energy going into the next turn. So hopefully we could take out everything but Shang-Chi, would be on my hope. And I'm also kind of hoping that they change and take out Mindscape as well. But we'll see. And so a lot of these high power plays are great here. We could always maybe drop the Shang-Chi. Cloak comes in. Okay, the double cloak. Interesting. So now we get a little bit of flexibility in doing something like this. We can do Sandra Nova to the right. Something like Athena, Kitty Pryde. Just in case they decide to rip the location away. I want to be prepared for that possibility. Or if they do rip it away, I want to be prepared for that possibility. If they don't, then I also want to be prepared for the possibility of dropping the Shang-Chi plus whatever we need to on the last turn. And so this is going to spread out our power. Instead of the Angela, we can actually go with the Kitty Pryde, get 2 extra energy to make sure we could do a 3, a 4, and a 1. If they choose to change the Mindscape location, which I think they will. But good deal. They do heavy stack into the right lane with the cable, the cloak, and then, wow, the Nexus comes in. And that is treacherous because they may have us there because Cassandra on the left is big, but of course it's not pushing that power across the board. We do have a Shang-Chi, so if they go something big, then that's great. Mockingbird. Double Mockingbird coming in, which was good. It was a good reason to use Moon Girl. As long as they don't have an Alioth, I think we should be fine. But Alioth ends so many games. And it's just one of the things that I think you have to deal with going against Arishem. And so the Nexus, we're going to pivot and go all mid. Mockingbird may do us some good, but we'll see. It's either we win 8 or we lose 8, depending on if they have maybe a Legion into a different lane or an Alioth into the Nexus. Are I think the only 2 big pieces that make us lose here. All right, so we do get to stay. The big blob in mid is not, I mean, he's big, but he's not going to be big enough to avoid the Shang-Chi, which I guess would be small enough. We're going to take out the blob, take out the Mockingbird, take out the casserole from the oven, because it is absolutely done. I love facing Arishem now that we have the Cassandra Nova, because it is just night and day compared to what it used to be. We'll take the 8. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Pool 2 Gamer, and our copycat, it's their Devil Dino. Diabolical. Absolutely wild. A 3-cost Dino is giving me flashbacks of the good OG beta days when Devil Dino used to be a 3-0. So I don't think we're going to be able to push for the raft.
Opponent snapped.
Snap is interesting. We do have Hawk in hand. We have Cassandra Nova. Unfortunately, we don't have any of our low-cost cards, though, is the only kind of bad thing here. And so they do they have Star-Lord in the left, but no such luck, Mr. Gamer. And so we could just avoid the raft location and push for Crown City. Them potentially playing into the Lechugia, huge value for us. And so maybe it's Nocturne. Since their power is not going to be locked in the left lane, I'm going to start pushing for Crown City. I'm going to go Nocturne in the right. Interesting. So they decided to use Cosmo into Crown City instead of fighting for the raft. Not what I would have expected, but we'll take it. And so now we go Nocturne to the left. We can go Devil Dino as the copycat, and then Kitty Pryde. depending on what we draw on the next turn, we could either go on 5 Cassandra Nova, Angela plus Cassandra Nova, or we can play Hawk. Either one I think would give us the win in the Lechugia, and then the other would be used in mid after the fact, because with Cosmo they can't stop our Hawk from going off. We'd be able to play Cassandra into Lechugia, and so if we're pushing into Crown City heavily, I think we play Hawk over there next. And so we changed the left lane. They do get the free raft resource. Unfortunately, we did it a touch too late. But Copycat is an incredible card here. They use Cable to pull one of ours and then Sentinel, but they know now that they're not going to have a Devil Dino. They know that that is not on the playing field at all. Let's go Hawk over to the right. And then on the last turn, it's Angela, Kitty Pryde, Cassandra, or Angela, Korg, Cassandra is probably going to be more like it. Into the Lechugia. If they play into the Lechugia and they don't change it, super unfortunate for them, because we are going to get a bigger build as well. So they have a copy of our Shang-Chi now, and so, but they have initiative. They can't use it into Crown City, and we have a huge commanding lead in this lane, and even better that they have initiative, because if they play into the Lechugia, it is going to be super unfortunate, because they're going to be stacking up their deck, giving our Hawk a power up at the same time, and then Cassandra Nova is going to come in at least at 7, probably much higher here. I think we see a retreat, but I'm going to lock it in, see what we can make happen. They go with a triple drop, the Magneto pulling the Copycat out of the Crown City. Very scary, but also okay. The Shang-Chi, great duo. That was a really good way to pull out that Devil Dino. But, of course, Hawk in Crown City is still going to solo that lane. We have the Angela, we have the Korg coming in, and then we have the Cassandra Nova. The 14 power Cassandra Nova plus the Angela scaling is not going to be enough. We're going to be able to grab the 8 Cuber against the Pool 2 gamer, and this play was almost enough to be able to win them that game. We got lucky with the Lechugia. We'll take the 8. We'll call it lucky RNG. I'm sure we've had the flip side of it happen. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Say Cheese, and we have 2 Thenas in our starting hand. So we have a huge amount of scaling, and we have Angela, and Cassandra Nova is crazy. I'm going to wait one turn before snapping, but we have a fantastic opener. And so it gets really tough for them to completely lock us in anywhere. Let's go Angela to the left. Next turn would be maybe Copycat to the... Or let's go Angela mid. Next turn, maybe Copycat over to the left. Maybe we go Rock Slide to lean into more of the like Cassandra Nova side of things. But, ooh, Subterranea is crazy too. Because now Cassandra Nova is always very big. Let's go Thena, Kitty Pryde. Next turn is going to be Copycat plus Kitty Pryde. Copycat going to the left. We have a scaling engine in every single lane, which makes it very tough for them to position power, because we're just going to be pumping power every single lane, have good value, good cards everywhere. And so then whenever we ultimately drop like Cassandra Nova, maybe on the last turn, we save it as that kind of surprise instead of letting it drain the power. Maybe we just save it as like a big body. So let's go Copycat. Let's go Kitty Pryde. Next turn, maybe it's Rock Slide plus Kitty Pryde. Maybe it ends up being a Nocturne plus Kitty Pryde. I'm not sure which direction we go, but we have the scaling sources in the left, the right, the middle, and I am so excited about it. So they have the Hope Summers, the Miles Morales. I have to anticipate the fact that they could have a... Ooh, and it jumping to the right, super unfortunate. I have to anticipate the fact that they may have a Shang-Chi, but I want to be kind of careful of how much I let my cards scale. And so here, I think we go Nocturne, Jeff. We're just going Nocturne here. I don't want Copycat to be above 10. I don't want Thena necessarily to be above 10 until I have to. And so they have 2 cards in hand, so Gwenpool had a good chance of doubling, has to double up at least on 1, could have potentially tripled up. But with 7 cards in hand, this still is a 9 power play on that last turn. Or if we drop the Rock Slide with it, it becomes a 10 power play. Okay, so I'm going to move the Nocturne over to the right. I'm going to play Rock Slide and big Cassandra Nova coming down in mid. And that's what we're going to be fighting for. Just in case Silk ends up staying in the right lane, I want to be able to beat 15 power over there. And we do end up forcing the retreat. We will gladly take it. The flexibility of the copycat now that Arishem is being kind of suppressed is so good. And then Cassandra Nova is a unit in and of herself. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Mr. Hammer. The first location is Central Park, so our locations get kind of congested kind of quickly. We do have Korg. We have Jeff, Hope Summers. I would like to be able to not drop Jeff next turn, but we'll see what that looks like. The Hydra Bob comes in, so we have the Hydra Bob Believer or Enjoyer. I think we are going to go ahead and drop Jeff, just in case we don't end up going with the Hope Summers line. And honestly, we don't need a lot of extra energy, just from time to time. The Daredevil. So this is a Professor X. This has to be a Professor X Daredevil Bob build, right? Dr. Doom from the Copycat is massive. We will gladly take the Dr. Doom, the discount Dr. Doom, which will give us 15 power for 3 cost. Negasonic comes in. It is going to destroy our Rock Slide, but it is what it is. That's fine. We get the disruption from it in the process. Now let's now go... I want to go Angela for the scaling, but at the same time, I feel like we go Hope Summers. And then next turn, maybe Angela plus Copycat in the right lane. Doesn't feel perfect, but might be okay. Jubilee in the left is crazy, and that's a beautiful border on the Jubilee into the Rock Pool. And so that is going to be a snap on the last turn, probably. And so I think the cool headline here is that they won't know what our Copycat is. If we snap, then Bob is going to jump somewhere random. And it frees up Central Park on the last turn. Nah, we'll go ahead and do it. We're going to do Angela, Copycat. I don't think they're going to be able to know what Copycat copied unless they happen to draw the vanilla Dr. Doom. Then, of course, they do know what Copycat copied because they see their vanilla card in hand. And so we do submit the Angela Copycat, and it's now their time to decide, do they snap back? Do they save that as a lever for next turn to move Hydra again, if they need to? Or do they end up retreating for 1 with the Daredevil read? I think we should have snapped earlier to try to get Hydra Bob to sit into Jotunheim. Now that I've had time to sit and reflect. Alright, so the single drop in mid is going to rip away the Jubilee in the left and pull out the vanilla Dr. Doom. So if they didn't know before, they do now that it is going to be just the unusable vanilla card. We have the win in the left lane or the right lane. So even if a snap came down, it is too bad, so sad. We have initiative, so something like Hawk could work. We could even do... Oh my goodness. We can even do something crazy like move Jeff over, play Hawk in mid, play Cassandra to the left, just to get that high power scaling every single lane. And I don't know that there is a way to win. We will grab the 2-cube retreat, and that is what this deck is going to be able to do, is just put good value on the board and put opponents into really tough positions a lot of times. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Chouki, and they're running an Arishem deck. We still a Cosmo. I'm thinking it probably didn't start generated in their deck, but we're okay with it. And against Arishem, I'm going to pressure them starting turn 1 whenever we're running a double counter against them. We no longer have to rely on very specifically drawing into Hawk. Hawk or Cassandra Nova both do great. We also have the disruption of our Korg Rock Slide. They did hit Cable, so it's a 2 out of 8 chance to get one of those big plays. The good thing is it's not as big for them as it is for us. And so Daily Bugle, let's see if we can see what they Nocturne. And so I think they stole our Nocturne, yeah. Unless they're using the same card back. I think they stole our Nocturne, yeah. So we can go Thena into the middle location to start scaling there. If we wanted to, we could go Copycat into maybe the right lane so that we could position a Hawk over there. But that definitely depends. Wakanda comes down, hits 5 of their cards in hand, 4 of ours. Let's go with the Rock Slide on 3 to add as much disruption into their game plan as possible. I'm going to play it over to the left, and then we're going to start looking to maybe stack some of our cards into the right lane. Maybe that ends up being the Nocturne next turn, so we have that flexible power. Maybe it ends up being Nocturne plus Kitty Pryde would be fantastic. If we draw Angela, it's going to be Angela plus Jeff. But we will see. And so they skip on 3, which is crazy. And then we do have Mijor Hawk. So let's go ahead and play our copycat, which was the Cosmo. That's going to make the right lane guaranteed locked in place with the Hawk. There's nothing they can do to overcome that amount of power. Then we just have to worry about scaling one of our other ones, whether that be with like a Cassandra Nova, whether that be by scaling the Athena going into that last turn. We have several ways to make it a reality. All right, so they do a drop in mid, the Leech. Leech is not as impactful against this deck. A Cassandra Nova would have taken a hit, but Nocturne, Jeff, both are fine. The Shang-Chi is the only thing we're like worried about here, but we're not. I guess we're not overly worried. We have a 1 out of 3 chance to draw into Cassandra next turn, which would be beautiful. That would be another 19 power 3 cost. The casual 19 power 3 cost. All right, so 2 drops from them. One in the left, one in mid. The Atuma in the right lane, not going to be enough, my friend. The Rock in the left is a little bit rocky, and we do get the Cassandra Nova. Don't tell them, but that is going to be treacherous. Let's go Cassandra in mid. I'm going to go Nocturne to the left. That'll allow our Athena to scale. If they go Shang-Chi, odds are we can outscale them with the power in the left. And it's just the beautiful top deck. And it is so nice to see Arishem just dwindle in that efficiency, because it could be beaten before, but it was always so nerve-wracking because they had so many outs, so many potential lines, that it was really hard to pinpoint any particular one. Okay, so they moved the Nocturne over to the left. They do drop 2 cards, one in the left, one in mid. Let's see what they ended up picking. The Cassandra Nova, the 19 power unit, the Shang-Chi in the left lane. They chose wrong, my friend. We go with the good old casserole, take it out of the oven. I think that's the second time this video I've made that joke. We will take the 8 cubes against Arishem, and hopefully that is the last time they run Arishem and they change their ways. That is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. Later, guys.